If we want hope to serve, in this world today, then every day we've got to pray on, pray on. If we want hope to survive. Oh, no. You see my shoulder, right? Your shoulder helps. If we want hope to survive, sing that one. If we want hope to survive. Now here's the one we're doing. If we want hope to survive, your turn. If we want hope to survive. Yes, not hope to survive, but hope to survive. It just fell a little bit, right? Here we go. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we got to pray on, and God will hope to survive in this world today, then every day we got to pray on. Listen. Pray on, we've got to 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 pray on, Listen, if we want peace in the world, we've got to pray on. If we want peace in the world, we've got to pray on. Your turn. If we want peace in the world, we've got to pray on. If we want peace in the world, we've got to pray on. There's a Mariah Carey moment. I know I'm dating myself. There's a Mariah Carey moment in this piece, okay? It happens right there. I'll see if you can spot it. If we want peace in the world, we've got to pray on. If we want peace in the world, we've got to pray on. We've got to pray. You see it? Do you hear what I'm talking about? Okay. Would you allow your diva to shine at the appropriate moment? Sing it with me. If we want peace in the world, we've got to pray on. If we want peace in the world, we've got to pray on. Yes. So somebody take this one. Somebody take the bass line. Pray on. We've got to 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 pray on. We're going to keep that one. We've got to pray on. Okay. We've got to pray on. We've got to pray on. If we want peace in the world. We're going to keep that one. We've got to pray on. If we want peace in the world. We've got to pray on. The rest of us. Hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to pray on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to pray on. Let's go on. Walk on. We've got to walk on. We've got to walk on. Okay, so listen to me. That slide is going to stay the same if you're reading the slides, and one word will change. And it's so important. Although if you miss the chance to sing the next word, it's okay. The last verse is still true. Okay? All right? So we're on walk on now. Would you rise?
Yeah.
Okay, bass, let's get it started. Walk on, we've got to walk on. 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 We've got to And you, some of you are moving like you don't know that this beat is pretty funky. I mean, it's pretty funky. Boom. Let your body free. Yeah. It's all right. Ain't nobody gonna talk about you when we leave. We are here. Okay. Move on. If we want hope to survive this world, we got to move on. If we want to save the world, we got to move on. March on. Survive in this world today. Then every day we got to march on. If we want to survive in this world today. Then every day we got to march on. Come on, teach on. Want to survive in this world today. Then every day we got to teach on. If we want to survive in this world today. Then every day we got to teach on. Last one. If we want hope to survive in this world today. Then every day we got to sing on. If we want hope to survive in this world today. Then every day we got to sing on. If we want hope to survive in this world today. Then every day we got to sing on. If we want hope to survive in this world today. Then every day we got to sing on. Good morning. Ain't that the truth? If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every single day we've got to sing on, we've got to march on, we've got to walk on, we've got to teach on. The days that we are full of energy and we got good sleep. I got good sleep last night, y'all. We are to walk on, we are to march on, we are to move on. The days when we don't get good sleep. We are to walk on, we are to sing on. And sometimes that looks like rest, But we must keep in motion for love and liberation. That's what we're about here, and that's what we welcome you into, you and you and you, each one of you. If you're a visitor, and a special welcome to you. Thank you for taking a chance on this church community. We hope to extend a welcome that feels like welcome to you. If you are returning, a special welcome to you.
Your return renews who we are. It continues the 166-year journey that has gone by the name First Universalist Church. It keeps us alive. It grows our story beyond us through all time. We begin our work together by singing, and we sing to warm up our voice and to remember that our voice is a powerful thing. We warm it up for an important reason, so that the next thing we do has strength and warmth, because it starts with the all-important word. That word is love. As I light the chalice, cup with the flame, will you say the words with me? Love is spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. We've come together for community. We've come together in the name of love, and many hands, many spirits, many hearts have come together to lead us in this craft of worship together. I'm Dr. Glenn Thomas Rideout, Director of Worship Arts Ministries, and joining me in leading worship, the Reverend Jen Crow, our senior minister, the Catherine Harrell and Gary Hoover, both our worship associates, will join us in leading us through some reflections. Amy K. Bryant, our lead artist, and John and Olu in the back here, making sure that all the tech things go tech just right. Joining us in leading worship is our choir, who every time they sing in rehearsal and in this sanctuary are preaching the message that combined voices and beauty are our human right. So, yeah, I agree. And it's possible to do for free, y'all. Y'all, you know, you can just sing for free. Together, we gather for worship. May the work of our hands and our hearts, our voices, do us well. Bless us to bless the world. I welcome you to 3 breaths on purpose, 3 meaningful breaths, 3 breaths for love, for peace, for freedom we haven't found yet. Let us gather again, deeper now for worship.
While you're focusing on your breath, we are going to enter into a body scan meditation. So I would like to invite you to stand if you like. It's not required, but it might give you a little more access to some movement. And first, let's just give a big stretch. Make your body as wide and tall as you possibly can. And then relax, let your hands come back down to your sides. I call this actor neutral. And if you feel comfortable, close your eyes. And if you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes, if you can, try to relax your gaze down to the floor. And again, put your attention, all of your focus on breathing. And first, notice where your attention goes when you think about paying attention to breathing. Can you feel the air coming in and out of your nose or your mouth? What other parts of your body are breathing right now? Pay particular attention to the trunk of your body, your chest and your belly, your back, You can place a hand on your chest and belly if that feels good for you, and notice your breath in the trunk of your body. Now take your hands and squeeze them as tight as you can. Make little fists, ball them up, tight, 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 tight. And then release. And then notice how your hands are feeling right now. Now take a moment and shake your arms. And then let them relax and come to stillness. And notice how your arms feel. Are they cold? Are they warm? Are they at ease? Do you notice any tension in your arms? Now shake out one leg and then shake out the other. And then notice how your legs feel right now. Wiggle your toes around in your shoes or out of your shoes if you've taken your shoes off. And then let your feet be still and feel what your feet are feeling. Are they tired? Particularly pay attention to the feeling of the force beneath your feet holding you up. The ground. The earth, which keeps us from flying off into space. We are held. Now let your attention come all the way back up to the top of your body and raise your shoulders up like they're earrings. Put them all the way up as high as you can. And then drop them. Shake them a little bit. And then take a moment to notice how your shoulders feel. Sometimes our shoulders are the place where our thoughts go to ruminate and be tight. So if you notice tightness in your shoulders, see if you can breathe, some ease there. Or just pay attention to that tightness. You don't have to change it. Next, take a deep breath, and when you exhale, exhale on a hum. Now notice the feeling in your neck. Also a place where the thoughts like to clench up sometimes. And next we're going to feel our face and our head. Pay close attention to your eyebrows and to the space around your eyes. Can you let your cheeks relax? And your mouth, can you let your tongue inside your mouth be relaxed? And also notice what it feels like in your scalp. And if it feels right, put a little smile, a small smile on your face, and see how that feels. One more time, put your hands on your chest and belly and pay attention to the feeling of your breath in your torso, in your back, in your belly, in your chest. And lastly, see if you can expand that awareness and pay attention to the feeling in your whole body. Our bodies are sometimes smarter than our brains. And if we learn to listen to our bodies, they will pull us out of our overthinking sometimes. And also allow our minds to come at ease if we give our attention to our body and we find ease there. Flutter your eyes open if they're closed. Move your body around a bit, shake it out. Take one more deep breath. And as you exhale, please have a seat if you're standing.
We always learn something new when we decide to pay attention, even to ourselves and our own bodies. Now is a time where we continue, we deepen even our spiritual growth and development. Some folks are doing that right in this space. If that's you, then stay right here. Others of us are going to different places in the building, some more still at home. Wherever you are, may our spiritual growth deepen each other's spiritual growth. We pray this. We start with a lantern to carry the light of our chalice everywhere we go. May the light go wherever we take it. May the shade in its shade go too. And following the lantern with the light, we have flags. Our flag bearers will carry the flag of K1, kindergartners, first graders, 2-3, second graders and third graders, and 4-5, fourth graders and fifth graders. Will you find your flag? K1 is coming this way toward me. 2-3 is going through the second aisle, and then 4-5. Yes. And the rest of us are singing. Today in worship, we're spending some time focusing on masculinity and faith on the day of Super Bowl Sunday. We're doing this on purpose. And let's say, as a first foray into that conversation, let me say this. Every opportunity to talk about masculinity is an opportunity to be grateful for every woman, especially the black and brown women who have filled the homes of black, brown, and beyond children, who have built the foundations of systems that benefit and thrive and generate growth and opportunity for people of all colors. On this Black History Month, let not a day go by where we aren't aware of how many of the unnamed and named, but more unnamed, black women have made a difference in our lives, each one of us. Each one of us. This piece is written by a friend of mine, a college friend, Stuart Chapman Hill, and every time I hear it, every time I hear the lyrics, all of the world lying fast asleep, letting the dark all her secrets keep, I hear the Underground Railroad, stealing away before the light of the day betrays the deep. Turn the key so slowly that you don't make a sound. Move in footsteps swift and soft and keen. For every woman, for every black woman who has navigated danger and joy, fear and confidence to bring power into the world, we thank you and we honor you with music and memory.
Light of the moon, light of the stars, lead me. Give me the strength to be on my way. We are connected here in this room, here with those gathering online, here back in time, stretching forward. Siblings all connected. We remember here. We remember that this is always true. It is so easy to forget when we find ourselves afraid or overwhelmed, sick or grieving or targeted or lonely. It is so easy to forget that we are interconnected always. It's easy to forget, too, in times of celebration and success when we falsely think we did it all ourselves. Every success, every struggle belongs to the community, to all of us together. Our pain and joy belong to the ancestors and the earth, to the community, to each and every being that has been and will be touched by our life, which is to say, all of life. So we practice on Sundays. We practice remembering what some parts of us already know, that we are inextricably interconnected, always held and holding each other, responsible, responsive, giving and receiving and growing into beloved community together. And so we make time to share together the things we are struggling with, afraid of, the pain or grief we are carrying, the celebrations and joys as well. In just a moment, we'll have a chance to share out loud with each other, if you like, briefly, something you are holding. And we will respond as a community with these words: you are not alone. We are holding it together. The circle is now open for our sharing. For Beth, whose husband passed away last night. You are not alone. We are holding it together.
For mercy from our national leaders, particularly for the Haitians on temporary protected status.
For mercy from our elected leaders, especially for Haitians with protected status. You are not alone. We are holding it together. For the Brindisi family, mourning the sudden loss of Michael, and the theater community. You are not alone. We are holding it together.
My friend Scott, on his way to the spirit world, his dear widow, Wendy.
For your friend Scott, on his way to the spirit world, and his dear widow. You are not alone. We are holding it together. All right, don't worry, we'll get both of you. Okay, back here.
For my ex and I to show each other grace and to remember the good times.
Yeah. For your ex and each other to show each other grace and to hold the memories of the good times. You are not alone. We are holding it together. For all the civil servants who have been targeted, who have lost their jobs or are scared of it, for all the service that they give, and for those who fear they might be next. You are not alone. We are holding it together.
For addicts, one relapse, there are a lot of relapses in our Zoom group so far this year, so for any unprovided reasons they might be going for that. Prayers, so.
Yeah. For any addicts going through relapse, you are not alone. We are holding it together.
For Gabe, the 1-year-old who learned how to walk, and the family who celebrates.
For Gabe, the 1-year-old who learned how to walk, and the family who celebrates, you are not alone. We are holding it together.
For our staff that help us keep our spiritual minds safe and remind us that we're not alone.
For the staff of the church, and for all of you who offer spiritual leadership and remind us we are not alone. You are not alone. We are holding it together.
To the California victims of the wildfires, continuing wildfires and mudslides.
Yeah. To the folks in California living with the after effects of fire and mudslides, you are not alone. We are holding it together. Our hearts go out to Betty DeMars on the death of her oldest brother, Dick, who died of an apparent heart attack while playing tennis. He was one of those people who was genuinely interested in others, making everyone feel special and valued. At 86, he was vibrant with plans to do so much more in his life. And although he was playing a game he loved, his family wasn't prepared for the loss and will miss him greatly. You are not alone. We are holding it together.
For all people of Palestine struggling to rebuild their lives into destruction.
For all the people of Palestine struggling to rebuild their lives amidst destruction, you are not alone. We are holding it together. For the memory of Marion Dane Bauer's son, Peter, for these beautiful flowers arranged in his memory by Nikki Townsend. Marion, you are not alone. We are holding it together. For Melissa and Kim and Sophia and Eli Curran Moore, asking for courage and healing recovery for Melissa's mother, Joan Russell, who has undergone surgery for breast cancer and will follow up with post-surgery treatment and care. We invite prayers for the whole family as they support her. You are not alone. We are holding it together. For all that we hold silently in our hearts, for ourselves, for each other, we say, you are not alone. We are holding it together. And together we pray that the grip of addiction might be loosened, that the weight of oppression might be lightened, that grief might be shared, that joy might break through, and that love might make every suffering bearable for us all. May it be so. Amen.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirring
In her 1988 book, A Burst of Light, Audre Lorde, the Black queer poet, author, activist, wrote this: "Caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare." Caring for our health, physical and mental, is not self-indulgence. It is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare. Caring for our health, physical and mental, is also not something meant for us to do alone. The healer, Prentice Hempel, reminds us that healing happens in relationship, whether that relationship is with a therapist, a tree, or a grandmother. So this morning we remind ourselves and each other of a critical resource in our community, and we build it up through our shared financial gifts. This morning's offering will go to support Mental Health Connect. Mental Health Connect is a collaborative of faith communities working together in Minneapolis to help destigmatize mental illness and to make sure that all people can find the free, customized, confidential help that they need. Mental Health Connect offers a navigation line, somebody that will literally be with you, helping you to find the person or people that can support you, following up with you with free and individualized and confidential services and support. They can also help to connect folks to crisis support in the moment. As always here, we remember that when we share what we have, we can all have what we need. If this is a time when you need to receive care, please connect with any of the staff and also with each other. If this is a time when you have financial resources to share, we invite you to give as generously as you are able to help support the vital work of Mental Health Connect. Our morning offering will now be received.
What would I do if I could suddenly feel and to know once again that what I feel is real? I could cry, I could smile, I might lay back for a while. Tell me what would I do if I could feel? What would I do if I could reach inside of me and to know how it feels to say, I like what I see? Then I'd be more than glad to share all that I have inside of here. And the songs my heart might sing, you'd be more than glad to sing. And if tears should fall from my eyes, just imagine all the wounds they could mend. And just think of all the time we could spend just being vulnerable again. What would I do? Tell me what would I do? Oh, tell me what would I do if I could feel? If I could feel.
It happens before we know it's happening. A name is erased from a government form, a law drafted behind closed doors, a school board arguing over a child's pronouns, a father watching his son cry and telling him to walk it off. Somewhere, a boy is learning what strength looks like, what softness costs, what disappears, what survives. This is how it happens. We inherit before we understand. We carry before we know what we're holding. A boy sits on Santa's lap. I know him. He says, "Ken doll." Santa hears, "Nintendo." The boy does not correct him. The world is full of men who hear what they expect to hear. Another boy reaches for sneakers with color, purple, but not the kind of purple they give boys. He is told no. A boy stands in the youth choir, suggests they save money by wearing oversized t-shirts instead of choir robes. In his bedroom, he knows better. He plays the preacher and choir director behind a cardboard box, the same little one that holds the Christmas tree in the off-season. He slips the fabric over his shoulders and feels something he does not yet have a name for. He does not understand why men can't wear dresses every day. I still don't. Masculinity is a kind of drag. We put it on. We are taught how to wear it. Some walk easy inside it. Some shrink beneath it. Some grip it so tightly their hands shake. Some reach, meaning to touch, and land as fist. And still, the world hands men the weight. It hands us control and calls it leadership. It hands us silence and calls it composure. It hands us fear and calls it respect. It hands us anger and calls it strength. Some of us learned the lessons before we knew what we were looking at. Some of us had them given to us before we had the words to refuse them. Some of us, maybe most of us even, never stopped to ask, is this mine to carry? Tonight, Sunday night, America will watch men run, hit, tackle, dominate. A certain kind of masculinity, sanctioned, rewarded, televised in high definition, paid in the millions. Tomorrow morning, men will wake up and go to work, shaped by the stories we tell about power. But what about us here? What about Sunday morning? Because we fail, utterly fail, if we send you into the week with only football to think about. The world has already written the script, already decided what a man should be, already tightened the rules, narrowed the walls, and it is watching. The highest offices in the country are reaching for control over bodies, over gender, over the right to say, I am here, I exist, I belong. Violence is rising against trans people, against queer people, against anyone who refuses to fit inside the walls that were never meant to hold them in the first place. And yet, somewhere, a child pulls a wagon through the dust, listening closely. Somewhere, a boy feels a robe slip over his shoulders and wonders if it will ever fit. Somewhere, a man sits with a word in his mouth that could change everything if he dares to say it. The question is not whether we are shaped. It is whether we ever stop long enough to feel it. It is whether we name it before it names us. And whether, when the time comes, we choose to lay something down. We owe it to each other. To every person in this room, to every child watching us become who we will become. To seek our truths in love together. And today, The truth is about masculinity. This morning we open that truth together, and I welcome Gary and Catherine and Jen to lead us on the journey. Meanwhile, we don't shape ourselves alone. I know. So I leave the question here. Let it rest in the air, unfinished, unwaiting, because whether we claim it or not, we are already wearing it.
Y'all, I wonder how it felt. I wonder how his 4-year-old body started the story. I wonder what it felt like for him at 4 years old to pluck the peanuts from the vine, shake off the sandy dirt, rinse with water drawn from the well, to feel his growing legs pull the wagon into town on the red Georgia dirt road, 2 miles, to move in and out of the shops, the blacksmith shop, the stables, the post office, the farm warehouses, selling brown paper bags of boiled peanuts, 5 cents a piece, every summer day except for Sundays. He had a handful of regular customers who knew him, but he also encountered the conversations of the traveling salesmen and the other men, ignoring me as though I were a piece of furniture, he would later write. The men would gossip, tell dirty jokes, give lurid accounts of their sexual exploits as though I were not there. And then there I was, with this once 4-year-old boy who lived to be 100 years old, with these stories residing in him as he lay in state in the rotunda of the United States Capitol. A month ago, I made a pilgrimage to Washington, D.C. to honor the body and the stories of former President Jimmy Carter, one of the most influential spiritual teachers of my life. I stood in his presence, body now motionless, in this round room where 4 years and 2 days prior, a violent insurrection was performed, and 2 days prior, the certification of the re-election of Donald Trump to a second term. This space was pin drop quiet, and there was so much commotion. The art surrounding seemed to be having a conversation just like those men in the shops of Plains, Georgia, ignoring Jimmy as though his flag-draped casket was just a piece of furniture. Paintings of war and treaties that would be dishonored were telling the lurid stories of their power exploits as though he and I were not there. Because if they had known that Jimmy and I were there, who would have invited the statue of Ronald Reagan standing on a pedestal? And who would have invited the similarly posed statue of Andrew Jackson, but more chest-puffed, to this party? He seemed to be having a conversation with William Penn across the room in a relief carving, William Penn shaking the hand of a Lenape Nation leader. There was one piece of art, however, who may have noticed that we were there by remembering that masculinity was not only about force. The bust of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But next to the head-to-toe statues, what degree of trust and capability to lead does a bust communicate? If he has no arms, can the Reverend preach? And if he has no legs, can the Reverend march? Preaching and marching required his whole body. President Carter later recalled in a reflection of these townsmen that at age 6, I began to realize for the first time that I lived in a community where our Bible lessons were interpreted to accommodate the customs and ethical standards that were most convenient. Church, I hold this truth to be self-evident, that all men are created first as child, formed from child. None of us invented the masculinity we inherited. It was handed to Jimmy before he was President Carter. At just 6 years old, he noticed it, and then he questioned it over and over, folding his faith into the clay of his body. He let the questions remold him. Every moment of formation matters. If we know this, then we must ask, what are we teaching now? We know who is there listening. When 80% of our religious education volunteers are women, but we leave trust of our money in the hands of our men, are we living into the conveniences of our ethical standards? Are we telling a story of power as if our children are pieces of furniture, ignoring that they will become the future seat holders of power? If masculinity is taught, it can be untaught and retaught. The motions of childhood can evolve from wagon pullers to hammer swingers like President Carter and marchers like Dr. King. Or the motions can remain like stiff standards, rigid in their powers like executive order signers. If power is shaped, it can be reshaped. We will see the truth if we pay attention to the motions. Every Carter and every Trump was once a boy, molded by the lessons they would one day wield over nations. And now we must decide. If we sculpt masculinity, how do we sculpt it well? If we are given it, how do we allow ourselves to be reshaped, learn new motions?
Wow. I'm Gary. Hi. This is wonderful. I have about 4.5 minutes to talk about what it means to be a man. And I have about 4.5 minutes to tell you what it means to be a man in terms of my life story. That should be easy, right? I summed it up right here. So if you get this, you'll get the whole thing right up front. I have learned, and I am learning, that to be a man means to move away from tyranny and into tenderness. I'm learning that being a man means moving away from cruelty and into compassion. I'm learning that to be a man means to move away from enmity and toward empathy. And I'm learning that to be a man means moving away from power over and into presence with. That sums it up. But now for the details. And this is going to be 4 quick snapshots of my life. You know how that goes. We don't have that. We don't have enough time for the whole thing. So I was given something before I could name it, and I carried it before I could question it. That's how inheritance works. My father had a very difficult childhood himself, and his stint in the U.S. Marine Corps didn't help with that. By the time I was born, he was a fundamentalist preacher who had been taught that if you do not hit your child at least once a day, that is evidence that you do not love your child. I learned about God, about love, and about what it means to be a man like that. That was hard. That's the first snapshot. It's dark, and I'm sorry, but that's how it started. I was confused as a child, an adolescent, and a young adult man because I always thought Jesus was tender and loving and kind. But I saw men promoted, whether it was in religious organizations or whether it was in business or politics or even entertainment. I saw this sort of glorification of tyranny and of being mean and grasping. I really was profoundly confused by that. And it disturbed me that as I was moving away from all of that and into a place of loving kindness, that my country was moving the opposite direction. Next snapshot. About 35 years ago, I was going to be a father. Now that's a whole nother story, but I was going to be a father myself, and I was so nervous about it. And our family doctor, we'll call her Dr. Kate, she knew me well. And I went in one day and I said, man, I am so real, I don't know, it's just getting to me, I don't know if I can do this fatherhood thing. And she said, okay, close your eyes, take a deep breath. And when I say Gary is becoming a father, I want you to give me one word about what fatherhood means to you. So I did that. Closed my eyes, held my breath, and I blurted out, empathy. And I opened my eyes and she was smiling. And she said, you're gonna do just fine. That was really beautiful. I was growing, I was learning what it means to be a man. About 4 years later or so, my daughter was playing with friends in the yard, and we had a lot of what's called crushed river rock. That crushed river rock contains a lot of little pebbles that have shiny places. There's little bits of agate and stuff. And one of our favorite things to do was look for treasures and find these shiny, pretty rocks. And my daughter and a couple of her little friends came running around the corner of the house, and they wanted to show me these treasures they had found. And my daughter was real excited, and she said, Mommy, Daddy, Mommy, Daddy. And her friends went, Mommy, Daddy, Mommy, Daddy. And that felt so good. It felt whole and complete to me. My children were never afraid of my hands or my voice. Yeah. That's what it means to be a man in the world. To be fully present with. Just fully present with. It's such a joy. It's such a liberation and a relief. That's what it means to be a man in the world. Now, 30-some years have gone by, and the next snapshot I want to give you is of this church, because it was last May that my own father died. And it was, I remember Reverend Jen saying, this is a complicated grief. And you know how here in church we say, you are not alone, we are holding it together. Well, you see, this church is doing this thing of tenderness and compassion and empathy and presence with. This is how we do it. So the church held me and is still holding me through that. This is really wonderful stuff. This is the change we need to be, the change we want to see. And I think I'm interested and curious, and I was thinking about and saying to Catherine here that one of the things I liked about Jimmy Carter, I graduated from high school in 1976, but I liked the way he carried himself in the world as a man. No matter anything else one could say, I felt like he carried himself in a caring, loving way. And I'll just reflect on that. And now I'm going to ask Reverend Jen to come and rescue me from talking further, because I think she's going to talk about something about how this really works in working for justice and peace.
It is such a gift to get to do this together. Truly, truly. I think so much of what we've been hearing about this morning is how do we come to know what it is that we have been given? How can we take a look at it with clear eyes and say, do I want this or not? What do I want to choose for how to be? That is the work that has been named, and there is powerful transformation that can happen for us as individuals and as societies and communities when we make those active choices to know what we've been given, to decide whether we want to keep it, to get rid of a bunch of it, and to maybe chart some new courses as well. But I want to name a couple of things that I think are necessary if we're really going to do that work of seeing what we've inherited, deciding what to keep, and choosing our course. I think we need at least two things. One is a place of inward retreat and peace and strength. Because I don't know, well, I do know about you. I know that for each of us, we are taught things we maybe don't want to carry. We are taught things about what it means to be a man. We are taught things about what it means to be a woman. We are taught things about what it means to be masculine or feminine, or to have our gender expressed in whatever way fits for us. We have people telling us what's right and wrong and okay and not okay all the time. One of the things I have found that I need, and I think we all need, is a place we can retreat to inside where we know what we know. Where we know that we are whole and holy and worthy, that we are eternally connected to something larger than ourselves, whatever is going on around us and whatever untrue lessons are trying to be given. Howard Thurman, theologian, minister, teacher, preacher, says this: "There is in every person an inward sea, and in that sea there is an island. And on that island there is an altar, and standing guard before that altar is the angel with the flaming sword. Nothing can get by that angel to be placed upon the altar unless it has the mark of your inner authority. Nothing passes the angel with the flaming sword to be placed upon your altar unless it be a part of the fluid area of your consent. This is your crucial link with the eternal. Within each of us is an inward sea with an inward island with an altar which is guarded by an angel with a flaming sword. And nothing passes that angel unless it is by our own choice. A place of inner strength and peace and connection. Beyond that, in order to do this learning, unlearning, relearning, choosing, we need communities of care. Communities like this one, communities we create in our chosen families, in our workplaces, in our churches, places that can help reflect back what is always true, that we are whole and holy and worthy in our kaleidoscopic beauty, that each of us is welcome and wanted exactly as we are, all with room to grow. We need our communities to hold us back up, to have our backs, that we might build together, learning and relearning how to practice and be beloved community. May this be our work. May it be so. Amen.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know Him, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get
I know for sure we will get there together. Please take a moment, join us for coffee and conversation downstairs in the social hall if you're with us in person. Chat with Debbie and with Reverend Laura about congregational care and about how we can support one another here with meals and rides and companionship when we need it. If you are trans or gender expansive or have trans or gender expansive friends or siblings or kids or family members, please come or invite them to our pancake breakfast next Saturday, 9:30 to 11:30 for trans and gender expansive folks. This is open to people beyond our church community, but it is open only to trans and gender expansive folks and their families. We hope you'll spread the word. May we find those inner islands of peace and strength. May we trust in the community we build together and in a new way forward. May it be so. Amen.